Good evening, my friends, my only friends. Thank you for joining me. This is Live Free or Die, Alternative News Media. I'm your host, Eli King. It is Saturday, March 9th, 2013. And as always, on this great Saturday, in this lovely weather, if you're not outside, I thank you for joining me. As always, we cover the alternative news, not the mainstream scumbag lying media. So let's get started with that. My first article is from Mike Adams at naturalnews.com, and basically he states, it's now clear Obama intends to use drone strikes to kill American journalists and political enemies. President Obama plans to use military drones in the skies over the United States to assassinate journalists, patriots, and critics of his administration. That's the inescapable conclusion from the emerging pattern of evidence now publicly available. Front and center in this pattern of evidence is the 16-page memo that was just released by Obama's lawyers in the Department of Justice. This memo puts forth a legal justification for the president to order the drone assassination of any American citizen he names, anytime, anywhere, for any reason. This power claimed by the president has no basis in federal law or the Constitution. It is the invented power of absolute tyranny that puts the power to decide who lives and who dies in the hands of one man. This document essentially legalizes the president acting as a serial murderer. Yes, so if you don't know what's going on, you need to wake up. You need to feel that something's going to go down. The second civil war is possibly upon us. I just got my latest magazine, the Infowars magazine, and the title of it is Civil War II, the Second Civil War, Inside the Mind of the Establishment. We'll be going through that magazine. They got a couple of good articles that I really want to get to. And they are planning a full-out war on American citizens, on American patriots who want to take their country back. Peacefully, I might add. You see, they're going to stage false flag attacks and blame it on patriots like me or white supremacists out there in, the Midwest or down south, claiming that these people are racist. But let me tell you, my friends, there are plenty of black people, plenty of Hispanic people who know and love and obey the Constitution, and who want to take our country back from the tyrannical bankster scumbags, okay? People like the Queen, people like Prince Philip, people like Bill Gates. These are the people, the scum, who want to murder 85% of the population, and they want to get a civil war started in this country forthwith, because once the economy collapses, when all else fails, we go to war. That's how they distract you. More points on this article that Mike Adams wrote. The American Battlefield Doctrine and the NDAA, which is the National Defense Authorization Act that Obama signed, which basically states he can lock up and kill any American citizen he wants if he declares them to be associated with a terrorist. In defending the drone assassination powers of the president, you might hear language used that says drones will only be used on the battlefield. That seems to imply they will only be used in the Middle East, right? Wrong. The USA has been legally defined as a new battlefield by the National Defense Authorization Act, which also allows for the arrest and indefinite detention of American citizens without trial, without legal representation, and even without them being charged. The USA is the new battlefield, my friends. Because we have come to a time where the mass awakening is happening. The majority, the internet is so powerful. People are waking up so fast. The globalist scum are shaking in their boots because they cannot win a civil war. Okay, you can have all the military might you want. But if only 5% of Americans who are armed stand up and fight, we outnumber them. And then if you think about the veterans and the troops who took an oath to uphold the Constitution, you know they're going to be jumping sides. To the good side, the side of the Constitution. And then who are the terrorists? Of course, anyone who raises these points will be immediately dismissed with the claim that all this new power in the hands of the president will only be used against terrorists. Okay, then who are the terrorists exactly? Well, it turns out to be you. You, the American people, are the terrorist. You got the Department of Homeland Security, who just released, I believe, 10,000 illegal immigrants, but they're building more FEMA camps and more jails. Why is that? There's just so many questions. Also, who is likely on the drone strike target list in the USA? I'll tell you right now. Who will most likely be assassinated by President Obama once drone strikes are fully unleashed in the U.S.? Journalists, political opponents, government protesters. One hellfire missile takes them all out. Let me tell you. Online activists, veterans, gun owners, gun shops, constitutionalists, and libertarians. And they're going to use these drones. Drone strikes are completely silent because the Hellfire missiles arrive faster than the speed of sound. You don't even hear the missile until after the explosion. And the blast radius of a Hellfire missile is 15 to 20 meters. And then they'll probably just blame it on a gas explosion in your house. Okay? This is what these scumbags are all about. And I got a plethora of articles that I'm probably not even going to get to. My next article, Kurt Nemo, Southern Poverty Law Center, Letter to Holder and Napolitano. Patriot hate groups pose domestic terror threat. The Southern Poverty Law Center says that I am a domestic terror threat. If you love America, you are a domestic terrorist, okay? They are switching the targets. From 9/11, we were fighting Al-Qaeda, and now they're switching it to you, the American people. And we need to just start saying no. We need to start saying no. Like my next article here from Good Self Me at listmy5.com, American No-Nos. And she lists these 5 points. I'm going to go through some of them. Introduction. If Americans want to preserve the lives they once knew, these are the top 5 American no-nos that should not be done. Constitution change for presidential office. The mainstream media has a way of promoting some ideas, and before Americans know it, those suggestions get put before the voice of the people, the congressman and the congresswoman, and somehow become law. So, like I said, they are moving in Congress and in the Senate on a daily basis. Even Obama is signing these executive orders so that he doesn't have to abide by the Constitution. He admits he does not take orders from Congress. He admits he takes orders from the United Nations. Okay? He went into Syria. He went into Libya on the orders of the United Nations. Okay? And now he is funding the Al-Qaeda rebels in Syria. Syrian rebels, they're really Al-Qaeda, okay? How is this that we are fighting Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, but helping them in Syria? Alright, and back to our American no-nos. Second Amendment changes. The Second Amendment is not about guns, it's about control. The Founding Fathers knew that history repeats itself and that someday the weapons would be needed for Americans to defend their rights. The Founding Fathers fought and died for us all. No matter what the ideas of the legislators are, stick to your guns. Don't let any law remove your right to bear arms. When the government takes away the guns from the citizens, the criminals don't submit their guns, and in fact criminals get the upper hand. Our next point, learn how to live peacefully with others. It's not about whites against blacks, the Asians against the Arabs, but in America where diversity is king, learning lessons of peace are needed. We need to come together as a people, black, white, whatever you are. You can be a damn alien. I don't care. We need to come together and take our country back. Peacefully, politically. The power of the pen is mightier than the sword, my friend. So let's get out there and start writing letters to your congressman, congresswoman, and calling them up and telling them what real criminals and insider trader scum that they really are. They're criminals. They do all this insider trading, and then they write laws that say that they're exempt. But if I want to send a little inside tip to my pal, guess what? I'll be doing years like, what's her name? That cooking lady. What's the cooking lady's name? You know? Yeah, whatever her name is. Thank you. On to our next point, shortages of ammunition and more. Ammunition is reaching a shortage because the United States government is buying up millions of rounds of bullets. Check your local stores and see the prices have gone up on all the weapons. Last point, being caught in the crossfires. Practice being able to live without all American conveniences of life for a weekend. Look around you to see prices of everything, including utilities, going up. I drove by the gas station today. I noticed the gas, regular gas, $4.19 a gallon in New York. $4.19 a gallon. This is way higher than it was when Bush was in office and all the liberals were up in arms, but nobody's saying anything now because it's their guy. They feel like it's their guy, so they're winning. Okay? Well, none of those guys are my guys, Democrat or Republican. They're all scum. All right. Let's open up the phone lines. All right. We are live. Number is 212-860-3583. 212-860-3583. You got something to say? Say it. All right. Yeah, let's put him through. Caller, you are on the air.
Ooh, can I say first? Hey, Eli, how you doing? It's the Dream Son from New Orleans.
Hey, how you doing, my new friend? How are you?
Oh, you're awesome. I'm awesome. Everything is awesome. Except our freedom, which is pretty much gone down the crapper. But, you know, I was wondering, if I ate my chicken salad sandwich, and the bride ate the whole thing, but I passed it.
You're kind of breaking up there. You're kind of breaking up.
I'm sorry. I was eating my chicken sandwich, and somebody noticed it started to look more and more like an AK-47, you know? So I was just like, not sure what...
Oh, my. We may have to ban all chicken sandwiches.
I mean, and what happened, I mean, you know, from eating a hot dog or a shepherd, it starts to look like deadly, and what should I do?
You should call the police right away, turn yourself in, give yourself over to Homeland Security because, you know, obesity is a problem. We need to ban all spoons, ban all products like Mayor Bloomberg is doing here in the city. I mean, big sodas are bad for you. I mean, you're a bad person.
I know. I thank God for Janet Napolitano. You know, it's like the good thing she is now, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait till Mr. Napolitano comes and knocks on my door and takes me to the FEMA camp. I'm gladly going to go down on my knees and beg them to take me to the FEMA camp. How about you?
Oh, yeah, I'm totally ready. I got my prison bag all together. Oh, wait, I won't be that, will I? I'll be dead.
All right, well, I know we're just joking around here, but anything serious on your mind, my friend?
Yeah, I want to know something. This has been on my mind of late. Why is the Poverty Law Center making accusations of patriots and just groups that have absolutely no terror affiliation, and they're calling it. Isn't that slander? Isn't that libel?
Yes, yes. Your line is a little shaky, so I'm gonna have to let you go, my friend. I appreciate the
Oh,
call.
that's okay. That's good enough.
All right, I'm gonna answer your question though. The Southern Poverty Law Center. I did some research on them a while ago, but basically they're like any other Pentagon front. You see, the Pentagon puts out these little trolls where they push out this false media propaganda to, sort of brainwash you or make you believe that, something that's going on that is really not. It's like the Matrix. It's like what you said last week, my friend. You have a feeling that something, you got that feeling in the pit of your stomach that you know something is wrong, but you just don't know what it is. And then when you finally find out, it like just totally crushes your world and you're in denial and you still don't want to believe it. So you keep on moving your life, but then things just get thrown in your face. Things just get thrown in your face. Then people betray you. Your own country betrays you. All right, let's move on to this next article. Government wants to expand assassination program to cover associates of Al-Qaeda. This is from Washington's blog. Now they're saying this includes U.S. citizens and stuff. This is exactly what I was talking about. Torturing American citizens on American soil. Another article by Washington's blog. Failure to prosecute fraud causes economic downturns. U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder said today, this is about the banks. I am concerned that the size of some of these institution banks becomes so large that it does become difficult for us to prosecute them. Basically, he's saying that the banks are too big to fail, and when they want to launder millions of dollars in drug money, that they're not going to prosecute them because they run the country, they run the president, they run everything. So it's time we need to do like Iceland did and kick the damn banksters out and lock up the ones we know that are scum, that are fully involved in these criminal acts. I see we have another call. Let's take this next call. Caller, you are on the air. Hey, what's on your mind, brother? Really quick, we're running out of time.
I'm on the phone with that. Yeah, hello?
Yeah, really quick, we're running out of time, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, well, it seems like something's going to go down. I have a gutty feeling and everything that something's going to go down and all that this year.
Yeah, they say maybe March 22nd.
They already started spotting drones and all that. And, and all that.
Yeah, March 22nd, it may be going down. Let me tell you. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, hold on, before you go.
What do you got? Really quick.
Oh, yeah, now, did you hear on the news about JFK and all that?
What, the drone?
Yeah, did they spot a drone and all that?
Yeah, I heard about that. That doesn't surprise me at all. There were drones all over the place.
That you should check out. The Olympus Has Fallen. It's going to have a lot of messages in there that people should check out.
Yeah, the release date. The release date is March 22nd, the day of the big false flag attack that's supposed to happen. Listen, I gotta go, Steve. I appreciate the call.
Okay,
let's take this next call. Thank you, brother. All right, caller, you're on the air.
Faggot.
You wish I was. I bet. Anyway, moving on. My next article is also from Washington's blog. Cheney admits that he lied about 9/11. The New York Times' Maureen Dord wrote today, in a documentary soon to appear on Showtime, The World According to Dick Cheney, I got on the telephone with the president, who was in Florida, and told him not to be at one location at one time. Basically, there's going to be a documentary on Showtime, Dick Cheney basically admitting that they all knew this was going to go down. I mean, they set it up, they orchestrated the whole thing. There's no way those two buildings could collapse the way they did from two damn planes. And then building number 7, collapsing in 6.56 seconds in its own footprint, and a plane didn't even touch it, damn it. Let's take the call. Go ahead. Caller, you're on the air. All right, appreciate the call. Next call. Caller, you're on the air. Appreciate the call. Next call. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, did you hear about MD?
I appreciate the call. Yes. All right, moving on to my next article. CIA developed a sudden cancer gun back in the 1970s. A lot of people saying that, especially Chavez, before he died, said that the U.S. and the CIA basically gave him cancer. Now, I really can't wait till we get back to 59th Street. I do love this studio, but the one thing I do not like is I cannot play my internet videos, because this would have been a great YouTube clip of back in the 70s. These CIA jerk-offs were in Congress admitting that they have this ice gun that can they shoot you with, and you can give you a heart attack or cancer, and you die later on down the line. They're killing us. They look up the Special Virus Cancer Program. They're poisoning our vaccines. They're poisoning our food. They're poisoning our water. They're poisoning everything. Everything. We are dead. We are walking dead. That's why I'm all in. I'm fully committed. You will not stop me. You will have to kill me to stop me. I do not care anymore. This is it. This is it. This is it. It's all going to come out. Anyway, so yes, they developed this damn cancer gun back in the late 1970s. Next article. Moving on. This is from Paul Joseph Watson and Alex Jones at Infowars.com. Boy stops murder plot with gun. National media ignores story. Another pro-Second Amendment story that you will never see on the major news networks. Basically, the incident began around 4:30 a.m. when two men entered the home and held three residents hostage during the home invasion. Police accused one man, described as only as a white, of sexually assaulting two women. The suspect subsequently named a 33-year-old Charles blah 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 blah. Basically, they went out to go kill these three people in the woods. Then all of a sudden, one of the suspects had a change of heart, so they brought the three residents, the three victims, back to the home, I guess, do whatever there. The youngest boy, I believe, I don't know how old he was. I believe he was a teenager. Somehow managed to get himself loose, grabbed his legally owned gun that his mother owned in the house, and was able to thwart them off, get them away. They fled, later arrested. And the media will ignore this totally. Because when you defend yourself with a gun and you prevent a mass shooting or a mass murder, that's not important. They only want to put fear into you. I only want to put the truth into you. And let's put fear into them to let them know that we're coming. We're coming. To arms! To arms! The British! The Redcoats are coming! That's who they are! The Redcoats are bankers. They're not literally British. There are good British people out there. I'm not saying all British are bad, but the banksters, the people who run this whole damn nation, from the United Nations down, to arms! To arms! They are coming! They are coming! Let's take a call, Rich. Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, how's it going, man? You're spot on when it comes to them wanting to take our guns from us. If you look at the dictators in the past, like Hitler and Mao Zedong and Stalin and all these other dictators that gain control of land, the first thing they do once they become in power is they take the guns away from people. They take their education away, and that's the way you colonize people. That's the way you take control. The next thing I wanted to say real quickly was the same way you reported about that kid managing to break loose from his captors. It's the same way a 15-year-old Texas boy who was home alone with his sister. His sister was 12 years old at the time. He noticed two home invaders coming into his house. He managed to run to his father's room where his father kept a fully loaded AR-15. The kid grabbed a rifle. As the home invaders came into the house, he shot about 2 to 3 rounds. Out of the 3 rounds that he shot, 2 of them hit the suspect, hit him in the back, and took him down. That's what saved that kid's life. So the same way people like to portray that guns, all they do is kill people, and take innocent lives the same way that people use them to protect themselves. And I like the fact that more and more people are standing up for their Second Amendment right, because without it, we'll be just like North Korea, where all the power goes to the dictators and the people willing to follow them.
I appreciate the call, brother. All right, we're almost running out of time. That was a great call right there. We got about 2 minutes left. Guy's spot on right there, man. And it just really, really hurts me to see what the hell is going down. Like, it really, really is affecting me mentally, spiritually. But I thank God I have people out there like you who understand and who want to believe and who want to break out of the matrix, because it's going to go down, people. It's going to go down. That's it for the calls today. Throw up the P.O. box. Whoever's trying to call up, you call up next week. I promise to take your call. Let's hit these last two articles. We got about seconds left here. Prepare for all-out war. Kim Jong-un vows to attack South Korea as he cancels peace pact in revenge for tough UN sanctions. Yes, we're going to go to war with China and Korea. Korea may throw the EMP. China is going to invade. This is why they have all these Chinese economic zones in the city. You know, it's just out of control. Last article. Dynamic duo backup abortions prevents global catastrophe. Basically, you got Paul Ehrlich and Ann Ehrlich at it again, along with Bill Gates, claiming that abortions are helping the earth. We need to keep abortions alive because it's good for the earth, okay? And where are these abortion clinics? In the black communities, in the Hispanic communities. Go up to the suburbs and see if you see Planned Parenthood up there. All right, we're out of time. Next week, we'll get more into this magazine. I wanted to cover some articles, but we're out of time. God bless America. God save the Constitution. And if you have received this transmission, then you, right there, you are the resistance. Queen, people like Prince Philip, people like Bill Gates. These are the people, the scum, who want to murder 85% of the population, and they want to get a civil war started in this country forthwith, because once the economy collapses, when all else fails, we go to war. That's how they distract you. More points on this article that Mike Adams wrote. The American Battlefield Doctrine and the NDAA, which is the National Defense Authorization Act that Obama signed, which basically states he can lock up and kill any American citizen he wants if he declares them to be associated with a terrorist. In defending the drone assassination powers of the president, you might hear language used, and the title of it is Civil War II, the Second Civil War, Inside the Mind of the Establishment. We'll be going through that magazine. They got a couple of good articles that I really want to get to. And they are planning a full-out war on American citizens, on American patriots who want to take their country back. Peacefully, I might add. You see, they're going to stage false flag attacks and blame it on patriots like me or white supremacists out there in, the Midwest or down south, claiming that these people are racist. But let me tell you, my friends, there are plenty of black people, plenty of Hispanic people who know and love and obey the Constitution, and who want to take our country back from the tyrannical bankster scumbags, okay? People like to cover the alternative news, not the mainstream scumbag lying media. So let's get started with that. My first article is from Mike Adams at naturalnews.com, and basically he states, it's now clear Obama intends to use drone strikes to kill American journalists and political enemies. President Obama plans to use military drones in the skies over the United States to assassinate journalists, patriots, and critics of his administration. That's the inescapable conclusion from the emerging pattern of evidence now publicly available. Front and center in this pattern of evidence is the 16-page memo that was just released by Obama's lawyers in the Department of Justice. This memo puts forth a legal Good evening, my friends, my only friends. Thank you for joining me. This is Live Free or Die, alternative news media. I'm your host, Eli King. It is Saturday, March 9th, 2013. And as always, on this great Saturday, in this lovely weather, if you're not outside, I thank you for joining me. As always, we justification for the president to order the drone assassination of any American citizen he names, anytime, anywhere, for any reason. This power claimed by the president has no basis in federal law or the Constitution. It is the invented power of absolute tyranny that puts the power to decide who lives and who dies in the hands of one man. This document essentially legalizes the president acting as a serial murderer. Yes, so if you don't know what's going on, you need to wake up. You need to feel that something's going to go down. The second civil war is possibly upon us. I just got my latest magazine, the Infowars magazine.